Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video, if you saw my last video, you know what this is going to be. I got a big yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. It's 55 skeins, and I'll go through it here in a minute after my long-winded story. You know how all my videos start. I got another big yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. Like I've said in previous videos, for some reason my Hobby Lobby, I don't know if it's other stores too, but in my Hobby Lobby, on their shipment day, they're clearancing out some of the yarn and putting it in the remnants or whatever. And sometimes it's, you know, a couple skeins, sometimes it's 55 like this, or it was actually 57 skeins, which is crazy, but I didn't get 2 of them. But I thought, how weird. I missed out on yarn like 2 weeks in a row, and then I walked in there and there was like 57 skeins. It's crazy because the whole like EG57 thing, but whatever. And so my store seems to be doing that for some reason, and so I walk in there. I try to time it right on the shipment day, and I try to time it right so that I can get there right when it's clearanced. And I've been successful, for several weeks or whatever. But then 2 weeks ago, I walked in there and they were putting the new yarn on the shelves, and then they started to pile up the cart with the yarn or whatever, and there was some really nice yarns in that cart. And when it's one of their shipment days and I walk in there and they're in the process of putting the yarn on the shelves, I'll kind of stay out, go to other stores or whatever, so I can pop in a couple more times, because if they're going to discount it, I want to walk in there right after they've discounted it and put it on the shelves. But sometimes they're so busy or whatever, especially with the holidays. As I'm filming this, is like before Christmas or whatever, and it's jam packed in there with all kinds of people. So if somebody needs fabric or whatever cut, and then they have to stop what they're doing, putting the yarn on the shelves and stuff, and cut some fabric for somebody. And it's just constantly busy in there. Another reason why I went ahead and got all this yarn or whatever, because I just felt like with the holidays coming and me missing out on yarn like 2 weeks in a row and stuff, and thinking how it's going to be really busy and stuff leading up to Christmas, I might end up missing out on the yarn for the foreseeable future. So I walked in there, and they were in the process of putting the yarn on the shelves. And then the second time I walked in there, it was later on in the day, and they were still kind of working around in there. And I noticed that the cart was even more full. There was more yarn in the cart, and so I thought this is a lot of yarn, because sometimes it's a smaller haul, but sometimes it's big carts full of yarn like this. There was one, I keep talking about that 38 skeins, even though I've gotten bigger hauls since then. But it's just unbelievable to see a cart literally overflowing with yarn and knowing that it's going to be clearanced or whatever, and then just thinking, well, maybe I'll get it. You really want to get that cart because it's just full of all this yarn and stuff. And this was it was really full, I counted up, it's 55 skeins, so it was a lot of yarn. And so I really wanted to get that cart. But then when I went into the third time, no life, God. I went in there a third time, right before they closed, and the cart was still piled up, and none of it was clearanced, and it was over there where the fabric was, ready to be clearanced the next day. And like I said, I'm a night owl, so I'm not gonna get up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whenever the hell it is they open it in the morning just to go over there to get yarn. And so I knew that I would probably miss out on it, especially because of how busy. Especially because I know how busy it is in Hobby Lobby, especially with Christmas coming and stuff. I just knew that I would get up in the afternoon and then go over there, and they would have clearanced it the second they got in the store, and it would have been sitting on the shelves for hours leading up to when I would go over there, and then somebody would have come across it and gotten all the yarn or whatever, and then it would be another week where I would miss out on it. Not that it matters, I have plenty of yarn, but you know what I'm saying. It's the fun of it, and the hunt for it and everything, and knowing that it's going to be clearanced. I probably knew it was clearance before everybody in my town, except for the people that work in Hobby Lobby. But you know what I'm saying, I feel like I'm the only customer that probably not, but there might be somebody around here that knew that it was going to be clearance. But I knew that I saw that cart before it was even full, knowing that it was going to be clearance. And so it kind of feels like, because I know it was going to be clearance, it's even more devastating. Not really devastating, I'm exaggerating, but even more devastating knowing that I could miss out on it, because I know it's going to be clearance before anybody else. But I figured if I'm going to wait until the next afternoon, then I'm probably going to miss out on all of it. And so I just got kind of defeated and thought, this may be because it was 2 weeks in a row where I missed out on the yarn, because there was that 2 weeks ago I missed out on most of it, and then the week after that I missed out on all of it, and I just felt with it being so busy, I'm probably going to miss out on all this. So when I went into Goodwill, my last video, that haul that I got, that's why I went ahead and got that big bag, which turned out to, as I was counting it, and when I filmed the video, it turned out to be a really good. It was 55 skeins too, ironically enough, but it turned out to be a really good deal if you count it up or whatever. And so that's why I got that bag of yarn, because I thought, you know, I'm probably gonna miss out on this. And then the next day I get up, and then like even throughout the day I thought like there's no sense of urgency to go over there, because I just feel like, you know, it's gonna be gone, because it was already in the afternoon. Like if they had clearanced it the second they walked in the door, it was already gone in my head. And so to walk in there in the afternoon, after hours and hours and hours, and to see this, I couldn't believe it. That's why I grabbed all of it. Or there were 2 skeins that I didn't get. There was like it looked like it was on a cone, and it was that kind of macrame, like almost like cord, like that was in there. And then there was like a little tiny skein. I actually did grab it, but then when I went up to the register, I thought there's no sticker on it. I bet you that the sticker, because there have been times where I'll get the yarn, and then I'll notice like one of them doesn't have a sticker, but then I'll see it kind of stuck to one of the other skeins, and like sort of sticking up, where they didn't like push it on there hard enough. And so I bet the clearance sticker for one of those little tiny mini makers or whatever, I bet it's on one of these skeins in here. It's a wonder I didn't get one of these extra cheap, but there was like one of those too. And so I went up to the register. I felt like such a cheap person. I walked up to the register. My cart was like overflowing with all this yarn or whatever. I actually sorted it out like I do to make it easier on the employees or whatever. I sorted out into the prices so that I could say like all these are the $1.24s, all these are $1.37, so they could just like hit, you know, $1.24 and then times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, like that, so make it easier on them. And so but you know, I'm buying all this yarn, and then I get to that little one, and I think there's no label on this, there's no unless they it's like one of those little tiny skeins. Maybe she just missed it or whatever, the woman that clearanced it or something. Maybe she accidentally missed the thing, or the labels on one of these or somewhere, I don't know. And so I was like buying all this yarn, and I thought I don't want to buy, like I didn't want to buy the little tiny skein anyway, because I mean it's kind of like cheap yarn or whatever, but I thought this may be like the last time I'm going to get yarn, at least through the holidays. And I grabbed it all, even that little tiny skein or whatever, and because I thought it's clearanced, but still. And then I looked at it and I thought, like, am I really going to make a big deal about this and just say like I don't want this, and sort of embarrass myself? And but then I thought it wasn't even one of those that was 99 cents. It was one after they went up on the price, $1 or whatever it is. And I thought, I'm not going to spend like I think it was $1.25, the regular price, or something like that. I thought, I'm not going to spend more on this little tiny skein than I would on like a regular medium 4-weight yarn that's clearance for $1.24. There's no freaking way. And so I didn't care what it made me look like. I thought, I'm not going to get this. And so I told that girl at the register, I said, I don't want this. It doesn't have I accidentally grabbed this. It doesn't have a clearance sticker on it. But it was in the remnant, so I don't know why it didn't have a clearance sticker on it. But anyway, so I went over there, saw the yarn, grabbed it all up or whatever, went to the line in the store. Just, you know, another like 2 really big bags of yarn, and one, these are like Christmassy bags too, which is really cool. Like I mean, I have like plenty of these bags. I've gotten so many of their like huge bags that sometimes I use them for garbage bags. I've run out of garbage bags. They're really, if they can hold the weight of yarn like this, they're really good garbage bags too. But I do have one that is like kind of Christmassy, which is cool. Or I think the other one is too. But I love those like big bags. But so I got 2 huge bags of yarn, and I'll go through the haul or whatever. But God, it's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. I just got like 55 skeins in the last video, and now here's another 55 skeins or whatever. But I just felt like, you know, this may be the last time I get yarn, at least through the holidays, like, you know, through until next year. But this cannot be the norm for Hobby Lobby, right? I mean, this is like, there's an end point to this eventually, right? They're not gonna clearance yarn every single week until the end of, you know, Hobby Lobby. So I just feel like there has to be some kind of end point. So I'm gonna grab it up, you know, every time I see it, especially because I missed out on it, you know, 2 weeks in a row. So I thought I'm gonna grab it all like a crazy person. No, I'm exaggerating, but it doesn't matter. But I did want to get the yarn, and so I got the you know, I paid for the yarn, and then I went outside, and my mom was with me, and she just stayed in the car. Because, you know, sometimes I'll like pop in there, and she doesn't have to walk in with me, you know, just to like look for yarn, like walk through the remnants and then like walk right out. Or sometimes I look at other things or whatever. But I got to the fun of, like, you know, seeing my mom's face when I walk out and I have these like big bags is like just the best part of this. Because she's so happy, because like she loves when I get yarn, and she loves all the yarn too. And but I walked out, and luckily she was kind of like looking off to the side. She wasn't like looking towards me or the store or whatever. So when she finally turned towards me, she couldn't see the bags because I have them, like, you know, down here, and I was like, close enough to the car where she couldn't see that I had bags. And so then I got to, like, you know, lift them up with my arms or whatever, and she just busted out laughing. I could see her. I could hear her. She was in the car with the windows up because it was, you know, getting cold. I could literally hear her laughing in the car, you know, even with the windows up. That's how hard she was laughing. But she just got really excited, and we had so much fun going through this yarn when I got home, because I didn't have time to, like, look through it in the store or whatever. I just grabbed it and, you know, put it in my cart and went through the line. I did look through it enough to know not to get that macrame yarn or whatever, but otherwise I just grabbed it all. But I'm glad I did, because there's nothing in here that wouldn't be good. Although when I got home, I looked at the picture that, because like when I went through the first time, I know you just want me to get to the yarn. God, just skip through or whatever. If you're that impatient. But when I went through the first time, I saw the cart before it had been piled up, and so I got a shot of that just to look at. And then when I went in one of the other times, I saw, you know, like how piled up it was. I noticed that I got another shot of that, and then later on when I was looking at the picture or whatever, I noticed that, like, in the bottom there was some Crafter Secret cotton and some scrubby yarn, and it's not in this, and it wasn't in the remnants either. And I'm making this up in my head, but I just feel like the woman that was working with that day, you know, the yarn was already clearanced or whatever. I'm assuming she's the one that, like, got there the next morning and clearanced the yarn. She was the one that, you know, clearanced that yarn for me that one week, and so. What I'm assuming, because I'm a ridiculous lunatic, and making up, you know, ridiculous things in my head. What I thought was, because there was obviously some scrubby yarn and some Crafter Secret cotton in that cart, but it wasn't in the remnants. What I'm assuming is that she, again, this is made up in my head, is that she thought, oh God, he's going to be here any minute. I better hurry up and finish clearancing it, because, like, she can't have clearance that early in the day, because it would have sat there for hours and somebody would have gotten this, because it's so busy, like, around the holidays. So it had to have just been clearanced. And so I thought, like, the scenario in my head that I made up is that she thought, oh, it's getting around the time when he usually comes in here, so I better hurry up and clearance this. And then she was, like, in the process of clearancing it and stuff. And maybe that's how she missed the little tiny skein, because she was, like, in such a hurry, because she wanted to make sure that it was clearanced before I got here. And then she got to that, like, scrubby yarn and the Crafter Secret cotton or whatever, and she probably thought, okay, he always leaves this stuff. He hardly ever buys this stuff anymore, so I don't need to clearance that. I'll clearance that later. I got to hurry up and clearance all this stuff so that, you know, I can put it on the remnants or whatever, and that I can take care of later. So that's the only explanation I can think of, because I'm a lunatic. That, you know, she just put that aside and hadn't clearanced it yet, because, like, I can't imagine that somebody walked into Hobby Lobby, you know, all the people in there, and like, walked over there and saw in the remnants, like, 60 skeins of yarn or whatever, or however many. I can't really tell how many Crafter Secret cotton or scrubby yarns were down in there, but there's a couple. Let's say that they walked in there and there was, like, 60 skeins of yarn. I can't imagine that somebody walked in there, saw that, and thought, you know, there's a lot of yarn here, but I don't want any of that except for the scrubby and the Crafter Secret cotton. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes sense in my head that, you know, she set it aside because there was no sense of urgency for her to, like, clearance that. She wanted to clearance this because she knew this is the kind of yarn that I would get, and then she just left the other to clearance later or whatever. I thought, you know, I'll just, you know, do that for later. I don't know. Again, I'm just making this up in my head because it's, you know, fun as hell. But whatever. Let me get to the yarn finally. God. If I had the confidence, I should have walked by that woman and just said, thank you. She probably would have known exactly what I was talking about, because it sort of felt like it was clear. Also because, finish what I was saying, it just felt like it was clearance for me, even though it wasn't, but you know what I'm saying. It's just weird how there were 57 skeins over there in the remnants. I mean, of all the numbers, it's 57. Yeah, there were 2 that I didn't get, but still, like, it was weird that it was 57, but whatever. And so, this is the first bag. It's a wonder I haven't gotten a knitting needle to the neck at this point by some irate knitter around here. God. At least if, you know, somebody does, you know, end up killing me with a knitting needle, I'll have left my mom, like, a huge stash to use up while she works through the grief of losing my ridiculous ass. God. The funeral home would be like, we're so sorry, ma'am, but we had to cremate your son because the knitting needle was jammed so hard into his neck bone that we were unable to remove it, and he wouldn't fit in the coffin with it, you know, sticking out like that. Stupid. So these are the such a ridiculous word. It's a wonder I haven't gotten a knitting needle to the neck, but whatever. So I got those, yeah, 55 skeins, and so I kind of, like, sorted them when I'm sorry about the bag noise. God, I kind of sorted them when I got home, and so like this is the bag that has all the like chunkies and sort of the more unique yarns, and then all the medium 4s are in this bag. Or there is like one medium 4 in here. It's from the soft and sleek or whatever, but like these are the more unique yarns, and then the other ones are the medium 4s. But whatever, I'm just gonna go through the. Let me get my little table. I still have my dinky little table here. If you saw my last video, and all the hauls that I need to take thumbnails. I've already filmed videos for it. I need to take thumbnails for behind me. That's why I'm like sort of like forward in the frame. Let me go get my little tiny table thing. God, I can't get that stupid joke I just said a few minutes ago out of my head. You know, like somebody that's talk like that would be working in a funeral. For God's sake, here's the satin pillow for you, and you know, just for the hell of it. You want to look at urns? Like a, whatever. Okay, I got a couple of the Yarn Bee Yarntopias, and I feel like I've gotten these colors before, but these were only 99 cents a piece. Regular price $3.99. This is the color Sage, like a really light sage color. It's a really thin yarn, but it's really nice and soft. I think it's a two weight. Yeah, fine 2. And then this one's called Ocean. It's kind of like a bluish color, with a hint of green, like a greenish blue, like a more blue than green, but a really nice color. These would match really well too. And then I got some chunky yarn, like really nice chunky yarn. This is a Yarn Bee Tender Touch in the color Rain. I've never gotten this before. A really nice mix of different shades of gray. And I think this is a chunky, or a bulky, or whatever. Bulky 5. Yeah, this is a bulky 5. So Tender Touch. And I've felt some Tender Touch that wasn't so soft. But this is actually really soft. And I love the grays in this. And then I got a couple of the, did I say the price? 87 cents for this. God, regular price $3.49. 87 cents. I should do like an inventory of. I'll plan on doing that anyway. But I should do an inventory like to figure out how much money I've spent on all this yarn. Because I'm sure that people watching my videos are probably thinking, "Oh my God, he's probably like $50,000 in credit card debt or whatever. You know, all that yarn. I'm cheap as hell. I would bet that I haven't spent more than a couple thousand on all this yarn over the past year or two. If even that. I really don't think I've spent that much money on all this yarn, because I can go through and say, okay, this whole shelf right here, 75% off clearance. This whole shelf right here, 75% off clearance. Like I can go through and without even looking at the labels. And like every single one of my skeins practically have these like big orange stickers on them because I'm so cheap. I would bet you that I haven't spent that much money on all this. I'm just really fortunate that I've come across as much clearance yarn as I have, because there's no way I could have this stash if I wasn't so cheap and going in there all the time looking for the deals and stuff. It's crazy. But God, 87 cents for that. It's just insane. I love this chunky. This one, they were both $1.24. Regular price $4.99. This is the color Herb Garden. Another one of those. I do have some of these Herb Gardens. Really pretty shades of blue and purple and some green in there. Really gorgeous chunky yarn. And then this one is the color Saturn's Rings, which that doesn't sound familiar to me. I don't think I've ever gotten this before. Of course, if you've watched all my videos, you're thinking, God, you got that like in two separate hauls. If you didn't get so much yarn, you'd remember that. But there's some shades of like a grayish blue in here, and then some browns and almost like a purpley brown, and some creams and oranges, and really nice, really interesting skein of yarn. So it's Saturn's Rings, and so that was $1.24. And then I love this chunky in the color. It's $1.24 too. The color Cool Black. Not black, it's cool black. I know I wear all black, but I'm not cool. Whatever. And so this is $1.24. So there's the main chunky ones. There are some chunkier yarns in here, but not like that kind of chunky. There's like some of these, the Yarn Bee Dream Supreme, which, God, I need to figure out the perfect project for these. I've been sort of hesitating using this because I don't want to, because this is such nice yarn and I really love the feel of it and how squishy it is and soft. I do have some of those skeins, not in these colors, I don't think, but I'm sort of reluctant to use this because I don't want to, because I'm not going to spend, these are a regular $8.99 a piece, and unless I find these clearance, I'm not going to buy these for $9 because I'm so cheap. So I just feel like I want to save these for like the perfect thing, because once I use it, I'm probably not going to get any more of it, unless I come across more of it in a haul or like in clearance or whatever. But I'm just not gonna, even clearance. I mean, even the 30% off week, it's like what, $6.30. It would be over $6 for it. I mean, it would be worth it because it's nice, but still, I'm too cheap to spend that much on these yarns. But it's such a nice yarn. Yarn Bee Dream Supreme. This is $2.24 because the regular price was $9 or $8.99, and it's a really gorgeous blue color. And so I got this one, and they had a black one. It's the Yarn Bee Dream Supreme, same price, and the color is black. I had to make sure, just make sure it wasn't cool black or, you know, some ridiculous coal black or, like, I don't know, whatever it would be. Soot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like making up ridiculous, like, as if the colorway names aren't ridiculous enough. I'm like, you know, trying to make them up in my head. But whatever. This is just called black, and so $2.24 for that too. And so this is like a chunky. I think it's a 6. Yeah, 6 super bulky. So just gorgeous, like really soft yarn. I need to figure out what to use those for. And then they had some more of the soft secrets, like a whole bunch of those. 2, 3, 4, yeah, 8 of these. And what's weird, like of all these, I have like all 3 of the prices I've seen of the yarn at Hobby Lobby. Like I said, you know, I thought that they were all $4.99, but and then I saw then Hedgie on board said that her store was raising it to $5.49, and so when I went into mine, I saw something for $5.49. I thought, okay, she was right about that. But then I saw that there was some that was $5.99, and so, but they clearanced all 3 of them. So like I don't know why they're clearancing it. It's obviously not because of the price, because here's like all 3 of them in the same haul: $4.99, $5.49, and $5.99. So the $4.99 is clearance to $1.24. The $5.49 is clearance to $1.37, and then the $5.99 is clearance to $1.49. So I have no idea. You know, I'm not complaining about it. I just have no idea why it's clearance and why the prices are all so different. Because you would think, like, I thought that the $5.99 was the new price, but if they're being clearance too, then like I have no idea why this is being clearance. It has nothing to do with the prices then. But I did get another one of these, the Soft Secret Ombre in the color Whisper. It's like, you know, unapologetically like Easter pastel colors. All the Easter pastel, like, you know, green and yellow and blue and purple, and it just screams like Easter. I do have another one of those. So I'll use this for something pretty, probably for my mom or my my best friend who likes pastels too, because my mom loves pastel colors too. So that was $1.24. And then they had 2 of these in the pale aqua. Gorgeous. I love this color, just this pale aqua color. It's kind of like an icy aqua color. And you know, I love those icy pastels. It's like a really light aqua color. And so I got 2 of those. And then they had another one of these pumpkin spice. Luckily that smell is gone. Although I went into Michael's the other day. God, they got like when you first walk in. No, not even when you first walk into Michael's. Sometimes when I park in Michael's parking lot, I don't know why I park on the side, because you know the whole parking lot's practically empty because there's hardly anybody in there. I should just like park in the regular parking lot, but they have a little side parking lot in my Michael's, and so sometimes I park there, and then I have to like walk around the corner, and then you know, as I walk down there, then the doorway is that way, and so. The other day I got to that corner. I mean, it's probably like, you know, 50 feet from the corner until the door, you know, one of those doors that, you know, kind of opens like that. I walked like just around that corner, and I could smell cinnamon. Like that's how it was, really far away from the door. And so I was there, and I thought, like, what did I just walk into Hobby Lobby? Am I like mistaken? Am I like over at Hobby Lobby? No, I walked in there. Like in when you open the doorway, or when the doors open, like in that little vestibule, or that's the word I can think of just because of Friends, in that little, you know, area with like the glass that's all glassed in or whatever. They had one of those like cardboard box looking things or whatever. They had the same kind of thing that has like the big twist or whatever in it, and it was full of those freaking I was about to say snow cones, those pine cones that you like Jessica. Those pine cone things or whatever that you can see in the stores that that smell like cinnamon. It was weird. The smell in there was worse than, or not worse. It's cinnamon. You know, it's fine. It's a pleasant smell. But the unpleasant thing about it is it's so strong. It hits you. Like when I got out, back out to the car, I could still smell it. Like it's like the smell got into my nose or something. It was just awful. But they had like a big thing of those pine cones that smell like cinnamon. It's kind of like those cinnamon brooms or whatever that like they have in grocery stores and stuff, or like in Walmart, that, you know, practically choke you to death when you walk by them because it's so strong. Like, who buys that stuff? Like, who would have that stuff sitting around in their house or whatever? It would be so, like that would be, the only reason to buy that would be to, like, if you have a bunch of relatives coming into town and you don't want them to stay very long, like, oh, I'm going to get some of those pine cones and then make our whole house smell like that, you know, where you practically choke to death on the cinnamon smell. So that it can be like a relative deterrent or whatever. Like how garlic wards off vampires or something. It's like, you know, relative deterrent or whatever. That's the only reason I could think of, like, somebody buying that stuff, because it's so freaking strong. And to smell it like at the corner of the building or whatever, before the doors are even open. I mean, sometimes you could smell the cinnamon smell at Hobby Lobby. Like what I was saying is that they don't have that stuff in. I guess it was all bought out by the people in Hobby Lobby, but it doesn't smell like cinnamon now in there at all. All that stuff's gone. But the pine cones at Michael's are even worse. It's so freaking strong. And to be like it's not like it was windy out. Like the doors were closed, and I was like all the way at the corner of the building, and I could still smell it. I could smell it, you know, as I was walking towards the building. That's how strong that stuff is. So I don't know, but I walked into Michael's thinking, oh my god, am I in Hobby Lobby? I should have looked around thinking, oh, are there any clearance Skeins in here? I feel like I'm in Hobby Lobby right now with that freaking cinnamon smell. God, or whatever. So Yarn Bee. I go off on so many tangents and stuff, and you know, say so many stupid jokes or whatever. And I think, okay, where the hell was I in the story? God, am I still talking about the whole like funeral home knitting needle to the neck thing? Whatever. And so soft secret pumpkin spice. And so this is $1.49. One of the ones that was $1.49, like an orange color, the pumpkin spice. And then this one is oh, okay. I thought this was this isn't butter. So this one's honey. I might have gotten a honey. There is a goldish one over there. No, that's the mushroom, which I did get another one of. This is like a really light gold, like a really this is really nice and soft and shiny yarn or whatever. But this is called mushroom, and I do have one of those because like in that big haul that I got from Hobby Lobby weeks ago, I got that one that was like so messed up. It looked like somebody just pulled it like this, and I rolled it into a ball. But I do have some mushroom, but I don't think I have a honey. And so this is like an even prettier gold. So this is like, I don't know, the kinds of gold, like I don't know what the hell kinds of gold. I'm trying to think of like some kind of jewelry reference, but like I don't wear jewelry or whatever. I'd ruin if I had real jewelry, I wouldn't ruin it by washing my hands as much as I would. But even in my head, I'm cheap. Thinking about the jewelry that I'm not wearing, that I would, make it start peeling or whatever. Because like even in my head, the jewelry that I would wear would be cheap. It wouldn't even be real gold or silver or whatever. But whatever. And so, gold. I don't see what I'm saying. I'm just all over the place. So this is like a light gold color, and then this is like a really nice gold color. Like this one's the one that's called honey, and this one was the $5.99 clearance store $1.49. So I have no idea why. And then two of these that are forest, like a forest green, kind of like an evergreen tree green, really nice green color. So there's two of those, and let's see. One of them was regular $4.99. This one was regular $5.99. So two different prices. They look exactly the same. I don't know if I'm sure the dial is different, but it's weird that I can hold these and they were clearance the same day, and they're like literally $1 apart in price. So I have no idea why. Not clearance wise, but it's only 25 cents clearance wise a difference, but still, it's weird. So I have no idea why it's clearance, but those are the soft secrets. And then I got one of these Yarn Bee Breathe Deep Super. I'm thinking about the whole because I was thinking about the cinnamon smell or whatever, and then like the haul, hauls and hauls ago where I got that Breathe Deep, and I made that joke about like don't breathe deep because you'll choke to death on the cinnamon smell, because that was back when the yarn actually smelled like cinnamon when they had that stuff in the store. But whatever, that was videos ago. But this doesn't have any cinnamon smell at all. But whatever, this is Breathe Deep Super Bulky, and the color Coconut, and it's kind of like a taupe color. It's more like that, but it's not really, because like when I think of coconut, I think of that white color. It's more of like a light tan, kind of like a taupe color, but really nice. This is that yarn that I mean, it's really interesting. The way it's wound, it almost feels like cord, or it almost feels like a material. There's no way to even like put your hook in this. There's no way to split it. It's just like a really interesting yarn, and it's really heavy. It's super bulky. It says like it's a super bulky, like a 6, but like when you look at it, I know that the weight of it is heavy, but like when I think of the weight of like as the thickness of a yarn, it just sort of feels like you could use this with a medium 4-weight yarn. I mean, it's that thin. It's not like it's heavy this way, like the the actual weight of it. But like as far as like the thinness or thickness or whatever, it just feels like it's comparable to some medium 4s that I have. So I'm not gonna use what does it recommend, a 9mm for this? Yeah, 9mm crochet. There's no way I would use a 9mm with this. I would use like a 5.5, maybe a 6, maybe a 6.5. I would never use a 9mm with this. It's just it's not that bulky in my head. Like weight wise it is, but just not the thickness. But anyway, and then I got another one of these Yarn Bee soft. I say another one because I've already shown it in previous videos. Not another one like in this haul, but I've gotten some of this before. Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, and the color is linen. And I know I've got one of these before. It's a really gorgeous. Like again, if you haven't seen this in person, look at it in person. It's fascinating how many shades of color are in this, and how soft this is. It's DK weight. I don't think it'll be too hard to work with. It feels like, I know, and it's a lot thinner than like a regular medium 4-weight yarn. So it would just, I just feel like it would take longer to make something with this thin yarn, but it's so soft it would be worth it. But this one has like all these different shades of like, it has some like white and silver and like a linen color, but like taupe and tans and stuff. It's just really such an interesting way how this yarn is colored. They have a really gorgeous one called Ox Blood. That's really pretty. It's like a kind of like a burgundy-ish shade of this. And I've gotten a green kind and a teal kind, and they would all kind of match each other too. So I need to figure out something to make with this. It would have to be something kind of delicate too, because this is really nice and thin and soft. And I wouldn't want to, as much as I wouldn't want to use like thin yarn to make something like really dainty and delicate, I would just feel, because this is so soft and squishy and nice, I would hate to like triple this up, because then it would just turn into like regular yarn, but it would sort of defeat the purpose of like getting something really nice like this. And it just feels like luxurious yarn, even though like the regular price is $4.99. I got this for $1.24, but like to me, it's used to like cheap clearance prices and like cheap yarn, medium 4-weight yarn and Red Heart and all that. It just sort of feels like this is a luxury yarn, even though it's probably not. It's probably just like DK weight yarn, but whatever. It's really nice. And it's low pill, so it's really nice yarn. So, and then they had one of those Yarn Bee Perfectly Plush. This is that kind of yarn where it doesn't feel as bad as that sort of Bernat blanket feeling like Cozy Occasion yarn. It just sort of feels like really nice plush yarn that I don't know. I'm assuming that this would be easier to work with than the Cozy Occasion and the blanket kind of yarns. But it's really nice, and it's really soft too. It's not like not as soft as that what is that kind? Snugs and Kisses that I put on my niece's wall. But it's kind of like if Bernat blanket yarn was like really soft and plushy. It kind of reminds me of that. And I do have some of that on my niece's wall, and I feel like I want to make something for my niece with this, with all this stuff. There's like a brown over there, and there's like a cream color, and then the green would match, and there's an orange, and I don't know what I would make for her, but it just feels like something that I want to make for her, like some nice little like maybe lap blanket or throw or something like that, like make it really plushy, like really nice and soft or whatever and stuff. But whatever, this is a knot. The fact that I even felt that. No, it has this big knot here on the outside. God, that pisses me off. Regular price $8.99. I got it for $2.24. So really nice. This is the color Fern, kind of like an olive green, but it's called Fern. And I say Fern, and now I'm thinking about Fern Mayo and Jawbreaker, if you know that reference. This is the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. So this is a medium 4-weight, but I put it in here with this because it's one of those like smaller skeins. Soft and Sleek low pill fiber, and then the colorway is light gray. It's like a very, very light gray. It's almost like a taupe-ish gray under this light anyway, but it's a very, very light gray. A regular price $4.99, got it for $1.24. And so and this is like, some of the Soft and Sleek aren't very soft. Some of them can be a little scratchier than the I Love This yarn but this one's really soft and nice. So that's really good yarn. And then all the rest in this bag are the cotton, and I Love This cotton, not the Crafter's Secret cotton. that I didn't get, that, you know, that she is saving to discount. I'm just assuming, because I'm a ridiculous person. I think all these were 99 cents. The regular price for all these was $3.99, and so I got all these for 99 cents a piece. And so this one is like a brown color called brown. So there's a brown skein, and then this one is called Serene Spa. Oh, I know I have gotten one of these before, because I said Serene Spa in one of my videos. God, now I'm having, like, not only do I have TV and movie references, now I'm making references of myself, as if I'm not ridiculous enough of a person. Now I have, like, you know, video references of, like, videos that I filmed. Stupid. Whatever. Serene Spa. So it's kind of like a light, almost like icy green color with like maybe a hint of a blue in it. I think I said in one of my videos, like, these spa colors, you know, kind of remind you of, like, the walls of one of those really nice spas. Like a really calming kind of, it's a really calming, soft, like light green, almost bluish green color. Serene Spa, or Serene Spa if you're, you know, ridiculous, a stuttering mess like me. Whatever. And I love this cotton, and the colorway is Parchment. So it is kind of like, it reminds you of parchment paper. Kind of like that like a cream color, very, very light cream color. And so there's that one, 99 cents. And then this one is dark denim. So it's like a dark blue. I would just call this like a dark purpley blue, but it's more a purpley blue than like a denim blue. And then this one is called Forest, like a forest green. Like it kind of reminds you of, like, the color of, like, an evergreen tree. So like a dark green color. And then this is like a print, and I love this cotton print. And the colorway is Domino Effect. And I don't have that because I would have remembered that. Because I would have made a reference, like, my mom loves playing dominoes, and she used to play dominoes when she was a kid, and she loves her, like, dominoes, whatever. So this has, like, whites and creams, and a little bit of like streaks of gold, and then some black in it. Kind of like a brownish black, though. But so that is a nice mix of colors. So those are the cotton skeins. And so that's the first bag. I know it's ridiculous, but I should have like instinct, like, you know, to look behind me all the time, because yeah, I'm just waiting for the day to get a big knitting needle through my neck. It's ridiculous. I don't think about it in the store. I just, like, later on I'm thinking, God, it's weird. I actually survived today. I didn't get stabbed in the neck with a knitting needle. Whatever. It's a wonder. Alright, here's the second bag. Alright, and well, these are going to roll all over the place because I stacked them up a certain way. But these are all the medium fours. Because this little table, it's not even a table, it's a little stool, and it's rounded, and the bottom of this bag is so flat. I'll just put it on my knee. Okay. So these are all the medium 4-weight yarns, and there's some variegated and some solids, and there's a glittery one, or a metallic one in here. Where is that? This one, it's I love this yarn metallic, and the colorway Jelly Bean. And again, I know I've gotten this because I even said, like, I don't know why this is called Jelly Bean, because when you think of jelly beans, you think of, like, all the kind of colors. You don't think of, like, the green jelly beans. So I don't know why it's called Jelly Bean, but it's just like a really nice, really vibrant green color with, like, the metallic strand in it. And regular price $4.99, $1.24. All these were $1.24, I think, because I had them all together. But I don't know if there could be one in here that's a random price, but I'm assuming that they're all $1.24. This one is called Nocturnal, and I know I've got this before. It's kind of like a mix of like a gray and a black together, and in sort of that heathered way. It should be called, like, I love this yarn heather, but it's I love this yarn print. And again, I may miss that because sometimes, depending on the light, you can't really see that word print. But you know what it is. It's like a variegated skein. It doesn't really matter that it has if it says print or whatever on it. But it's kind of like this heathered look with some blacks and gray, and then or black and grays, not blacks. Like as if there's different shades of black. And then this one is a variegated skein, Fireworks Show, which I don't think I've gotten before. And like, this doesn't scream fireworks to me. Fireworks to me are like the really big, vibrant color, like that candy stick stash. That should be Fireworks Show. This feels like. Hang on. If I didn't buy so much damn yarn, let me just stick it on the floor. It's probably so damn big I don't even have to Yeah, the difference isn't even that much because it's so damn big. But whatever. So the candy stick stash should be called fireworks show because like that's what the colors that you think of when you think of fireworks. This doesn't remind me of fireworks at all. These are like kind of earth tones and sort of neutrals and stuff like blues and some orange and yellow and some white. This is not fireworks, so I don't know why it's called fireworks show, but whatever. It's a gorgeous colorway though. But just the name, it just doesn't really fit it very well. But really gorgeous. And then. And one I think I haven't gotten before. I love this yarn print in the colorway Surprise Stripe. Surprise Stripe. Surprise Stripe. Southern accent, God. It's bad enough I'm like in my head all the time, worried about my speech or whatever as my, stuff's going on and my speech issues are flaring up like they do. Now I'm in my head so much that I'm just like, I'm very aware of like how, as I'm talking and I'm thinking, you just said that like surprise, whatever. So surprise stripe or surprise if you're some hick like me from the south, whatever. And so it has like there's shades of pink in it with some black and gray and some very, very light pink. It's not really white, it's light pink, but a really gorgeous mix of colors. And there's even some areas that's kind of speckled in there if you look real deep down in there. So it's a really gorgeous mix of colors. I'm really liking like the look of pink with some black and gray in it. It really does match really well. Or I love any kind of yarn with some black streaks in it. So that's probably why I kind of like this more than I ever thought I would, because I do love the look of black mixed in with some colors, and there are really pretty pinks in this. So there's that one. And then this one is, I love this yarn print, and it's one of those heathered yarns, and the colorway is Prima Ballerina. I know I've got this before. It's kind of, and thank you, Crocheting Chaos. Like I keep saying that, like this doesn't really feel like the shades of pink in all these like ballerinas and ballet or like whatever colorways. They don't really feel like the kinds of pinks in my head, because like the pink, the ballerina pink in my head is like the only reference I have, because I don't watch like ballerina stuff. I'm not like watching ballerina competitions, and I don't have any like, oh, my daughter is in ballet. Like I don't know anything about ballet. The only thing I know about is a freaking movie references. The ballerinas in The Wizard of Oz. So I just think of like the vibrant Technicolor pink that they used in The Wizard of Oz. And so like when I see this and think, oh, this is like ballerina, it doesn't really match it. And the image in my head of like what a ballerina pink is, because I'm the one that like all I can think about is the freaking Wizard of Oz. And so this just isn't like ballerina pink to me, because like the Lullaby League from The Wizard of Oz is like in my head. But Crocheting Chaos told me that this is actually the color of ballerina slippers and stuff. It's more of like a tannish pink. So I guess like the Prima Ballerina name is actually a good name for this. It does have that like kind of light pink, like light tannish pink, and then like some darker tans in this. So I guess this is a good colorway name, but not to somebody that knows ballerinas from The Wizard of Oz and has been obsessed with that since I was literally a kid. Wizard of Oz, Return to Oz. I love everything Wizard of Oz, and ruby slippers and all that. I probably love the ruby slippers more than the Wizard of Oz. Whatever. And this one, I love this yarn print and the colorway Silver Mist. It's kind of like one of those heathered yarns. It's like a sort of a light gray and then a very light gray mixed with each other. And so it creates this really cool, almost like a shadowy effect in it. So it just looks like a light gray, but then the more you look at it, there's like all these shadows in it with the little bit darker gray mixed in. Really gorgeous, like silvery kind of heathered yarn. And so $1.24, or I'm sure like all these are. And see how, like, see the label, how it's kind of coming off a little bit. I bet that other label that was on that. Oh wait. Oh no. This must have come off when I was thinking, holy crap, no, this is just from another skein, probably another skein in here. But that's probably what happened to that little tiny skein. I'm sure that little sticker was on one of these somewhere. If I didn't have so many skeins, I would know. But there's like this sea of yarn here, so I would see it if I didn't have so much damn yarn. But the labels, like they do kind of, I guess because there's so many skeins to do it at once, sometimes they do that, and then the labels won't stick to it completely. And so maybe that's what happened to that little tiny skein. But still, I'm glad. I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it, because it's not really that good of a deal. Because even like clearance, it's still that like those little tiny skeins, which I'm not really crazy about. But anyway, this one is called. Oh, I finished that one. I got distracted by the sticker. No, this one's called I Love This Yarn, and no, this is a different brand. Like, of course, I love this yarn. I love this yarn and the colorway Gray Mist. So like a silvery gray, not like a heathered kind of gray, but it's just like a silvery gray, a Gray Mist. And so that was at $1.24 too. And then this one, Oh, another gray mist. So I got 2 of those. And then this one is that? No, this is different. This is, I love this yarn print and the colorway River Ripple. I know I've gotten that before because I remember that name. A really gorgeous mix of grays. It's not heathered, but or I guess it's a little streaky and a little heathered. But it has all these really nice shades of almost like a greenish silver in it. And then, like, if you look at it, it's one of those yarns that kind of looks a little striped, you know, like that heathered yarn. And it has, like, occasionally it has some little pops of color, like sort of a gold and an orange in there. Maybe a little bit of yellow, and it's a really interesting skein. Like from far away, it just kind of looks like, oh, this is gray, or maybe like a little bluish gray or greenish gray. But then when you look at it, it's really interesting when you look up close to it. A really pretty skein. And then this one is brown, so I love this yarn brown. So a nice brown color. And then I love this yarn, the color menthe. Menthe, M-E-N-T-H-E. I don't know how you say that. I've heard of the word menthol or mint, but it's M-E-N-T-H-E. Menthe. Menthe. God, I don't know. That's not my lisp coming out, which, you know, is another thing that I have to deal with sometimes. No, it's just menthe. M-E-N-T-H-E. Not mince. No, it's menthe. So it's kind of like an icy green, like a really light. It leans a little towards pastel, but it's kind of like when you get ice cream that has mint in it. It's kind of like a light mint green color. So I don't know why it's called menthe instead of mint, but whatever. So it is kind of like a light minty green. Even though mint is like an actual, like a dark green color. If you use mint, you like the leaves, but like, you know, the things that they sell that are mint flavored, that's the color it reminds you of, is that kind of light green. Another one, I know this, limelight, because I have so much of this. They clearance out a lot of this limelight. This must not be a popular color, even though, I mean, I'm not really into like really neon colors and stuff, but it's a really gorgeous green color, really nice, vibrant green color. So I don't know why they keep clearancing out this limelight, but I do have a lot. I could probably make a freaking, you know, Halloween Beetlejuice throw with all the limelight I have, but this is one of those. And then this one is the color navy, like a really deep, dark navy blue, a really gorgeous navy blue. I do love that. I love really dark colors like this, and I mean, like a really nice dark blue. I love royal blue, but this is like a really dark navy blue, so I love that one. And then this one is the color forest, like a nice, you know, forest green, you know, like the color of an evergreen tree, a Christmas tree. I don't know why I keep saying evergreen. I should say Christmas. You know, I love Christmas so much. I should say Christmas tree, the color of a Christmas tree. And then 2, I think these are both the same. Yeah, 2 white skeins, so that's good. Definitely use that. And then, oh, another gray. God, I got 3 gray mist. I do love this like silvery gray. Wait, is this another one? Got 4 gray mist. Wait, let me make sure that that's all the gray mist that I got. Yeah, that's all the gray mist I have. I did get a gray beard, like one of those darker grays. This feels a little like scratchier than this must be like an older dye lot, but if it's darker than the gray mist or whatever, but it feels a little scratchy on the scratch. This almost feels like Red Heart yarn, but whatever. And so I do have some of this gray beard too, but this gray mist is really nice. I do love this really nice icy silvery gray. I really love that. And so I sort of feel like a prick, you know, knowing that there's 4 in here and I didn't leave any for anybody else. But I think at this point, after all the hauls that I've gotten, you know, I've surpassed the name prick, and I'm on to something else that I can't say, so I'll get demonetized. And then I got 2 of these, the fire red. So it's kind of like an orangey red. Like when you look at fire, and it's kind of like a red with some orange in it. It's kind of like that. So like a fire red. So that's a good name for that. And so 2 of those. And then 2 of these, oh wait. God, these are so close in color, I almost got them confused. One of them is light sage, and the other one is mid green. That would be really hard to distinguish between these 2. See, sometimes their colorways are so close that you could almost accidentally think, okay, I need like 7 of the mid green, so I got all 7, and then you get home and you realize that, oh, one of them is light sage or something, or like even some of their variegated colors are kind of like that too. So you have to really watch, because like, I mean, I guess this one's just like slightly darker, but from far, like if I went like this, like when I just grabbed these 2, I thought they were exactly the same, and I could very easily get these confused. So just make sure you pay attention to the colorway names too. Don't just assume that these are the same color, because they're very, like, almost identical. I don't know how it's coming out on camera, but like in person, they're almost identical. This one's a little like creamier green, I guess, a little creamier and a little like deeper. But otherwise, they're exactly the same. But so mid green, they're kind of like these, you know, light sage greens. But this one's actually called light sage. This one's called mid green. But very, very similar. And then this one, Peacock, a really gorgeous blue color, kind of like a teal blue. I do love, like, every single colorway, from not just from Hobby Lobby, but from other places. Every single one I've ever seen called Peacock has been a really gorgeous, like, blue, like a tealish blue color. So I do love every kind of peacock I've ever seen. But this is a really gorgeous blue color. I love that. Not as gorgeous as the Big Twist Sapphire. Like, I wish I could capture that on camera better. Like, look at that one in person. Like, and you can see how vibrant that color is. This isn't as vibrant as that, but it's a gorgeous color though, like almost. But that one from Big Twist is gorgeous. I just wish I could capture that on camera better. And this one is, I love this yarn, the color Mint Tea. Mint, not Minth, or whatever. This one has like different shades of green and blue, but almost like a darker, more muted, kind of neutral green and blue. Not like really vibrant blue and green, but really a nice mix of colors. And then there's like a little bit of silvery white in this too, but it's very like a muted mix of colors. It's really nice. And so there's that one. And they're falling. And then this one is another Mint Tea. God, I did get a lot of like duplicates or whatever, and I feel like a prick. I didn't realize just how much I deserved a knitting needle to the neck, knowing that there's like multiples in here. I could have just gotten like 2 of this silver, or like just got 1 of these and left the other for somebody else. I was like, grab the. Cause I missed it. I felt like I was making up for the 2 hauls where I missed out on all that yarn. I missed out on like most of the really good ones in that haul 2 weeks ago, and then the next week I missed out on all of it. So I was like, I got to get it all, because I was like, I missed out on all that yarn. I was sort of making up for lost time, or lost hauls, making up for lost hauls, whatever. So I did get 2 of those. Although I probably would have gotten both of these anyway. Maybe I would have saved if I wouldn't have, like, you know, went through there like a tornado and just like grabbed all the skeins. I might have left a couple of these grays for other people, but even that I do love grays and blacks and stuff, so I might have ended up getting the gray anyway. But like if it was like there have been times where I've left some solids where it's like some oranges or browns or colors that just aren't usually my style, but like the grays and blacks and that kind of stuff, I grab all that up. But you know, usually if I see some solids that, you know, I know I have plenty of, or you know, they're just like random colors. The ones that are sort of like earth tones and like browns and oranges and stuff, I may leave some of those. But like, I guess I would have gotten all these grays. And I always get all the variegated. So even though they had 2, I would have gotten both of these. And I did. Would have. I would have. Of course I got it. And then this one is called Brush Stroke Breeze. And I don't think I've gotten this one before, because I would have messed that up. Brush Stroke Breeze. I could say Professor Lincoln Heavenly Passive back and all that stuff, but I can't say Brush Stroke Breeze. Or I guess I said it. Brush Stroke Breeze. Such a ridiculous person, my God. And so this Brush Stroke Breeze has different shades of orange and a little bit of a pinkish orange in here too, and some silvers and a little bit of like a greenish silver in here. A really nice sort of mix of colors. But depending on the light, that goldish, brownish, tannish color kind of has a hint of like a peachy pink in here too. And then with the blue, like an icy blue with some gray and stuff. But a really interesting mix of colors. And I got one of these crushed raspberries, which I think is the same kind of yarn that that my niece used to make her scrunchie, and then I made her the slap bracelet out of it. I think this is the same one. It's the base of it is kind of like like an ivory color, and then it has all these speckles. It's one of these speckle yarns. It's called Print. But I love this yarn Print, but it's a speckled yarn. And because they don't have like I love this yarn Speckle, but whatever, it's like a speckled yarn. And it has all these speckles of like a really vibrant pink, and then gray mixed in with like the ivory base. It's a really gorgeous colorway. I did love how the speckled yarn, if it wasn't this one, it's one that's very similar. The one I used to make my niece's slap bracelet. I did love how the speckled yarn looked crocheted up. So it's really pretty good. I love that vibrant pink in this too. And then one more, and this one I'll save for last because I do love this. It's that antique teal. I love like really vibrant teal, kind of like that, you know, sapphire from Big Twist. But like I love this too. I love when they take a really vibrant color, one that I really like, and then turn it into like a darker shade. This is just a like really deep, dark, like rich teal color. I love this antique teal, and I think I've gotten like one of these before. So I don't have very many of these, but I love this antique teal. So I got one of those, and so that's the last one. And I know it's utterly ridiculous, and I should be sitting here like, you know, talking like this, you know, because I have like a knitting needle through my neck, but whatever. But shockingly, I go in there and I'm out of there like quick enough where I can outrun somebody. I'm no athlete by any means, but I could probably outrun somebody, even like holding all these like giant bags. I'm probably building up my upper arm strength. I could probably run on my hands or my arms or whatever, because I'm building up all my upper strength, you know, carrying all these damn bags out of the store the way I do, and carrying them into the house or whatever, and lifting them up to do yarn hauls and stuff. I could probably run out of the store, run away from somebody with a knitting needle as a weapon. I could probably run out on my arms. But then how would I hold my yarn? No, I'd hold it by my feet, probably. God, I'm such a ridiculous person to even put that image out there. Like me running out of the store with bags of yarn coming, like dangling off of my feet, and then running on my freaking hands. But anyway, that's the haul. And but I will say, you know, as I'm like putting all these damn skeins back in there, I don't mean damn skeins, I mean amazing skeins, amazing deal. I will say that the day that I got up and was going to go over there, I was just thinking I'm not going to get any yarn over there. It's going to be gone and all that stuff. I got up and I was thinking, okay, I could go a couple hours before I usually do, but I thought, you know, it's probably all gone. I know that it's been gone for hours. I didn't even want to go over there. I was almost like dreading it. And so I thought, like, what I'll do is I'll throw myself into my work, you know, my ridiculous videos. And I did do the EG stitch tutorial, which I'm sure when this comes out, the video has already been out for weeks or months or whatever it's been. I don't know when these videos are going to be coming out, because I'm going to be inserting all the Christmas videos too. But I'm sure that video is already out, and hopefully it turned out okay. I think it turned out okay. I haven't edited it yet, but I think the stitch tutorial turned out okay. The link is in the description if I did post that already. But hopefully it turned out okay, and it was easy to follow, and you had fun. Have you made anything with the EG stitch yet? You know, tell me in the comments. I'm really excited to put that out there in the world. My stitch that I'm so proud of. But I mean, it is a really cool stitch, and I hope you enjoy making stuff with it as much as I enjoyed creating it, and then and making all kinds of stuff with it. I probably already decided, but what I should do is put some of the clips that were, because like right after I had done the EG stitch, like, you know, figured it out, because I went through so many like test pieces. I wanted to, you know, create my own stitch and, you know, incorporate the whole 5/7 thing in it. I wanted to you know, figure that out, and then once I did, I was like a ridiculous person on camera. Like, I'll have to bleep out all the cuss words or whatever, but I was so excited that I figured out a stitch or whatever, incorporating the whole 5 and 7 thing, and I was cussing. I was so excited that I figured out the stitch or whatever, and it actually laid right. It was really perfect. And the first thing I did with the EG stitch, I used I figured it out with red yarn, I think, and then I wanted to see what it looked like in a really nice variegated color, so I used the Paint Party, one of my favorite colorways from Hobby Lobby. I wanted to make a whole blanket with that, but they didn't have enough of the Paint Party. Speaking of that, in one of my videos, hopefully I'll finish what the hell I was saying. I probably already finished that story, you know, videos ago when I posted the stitch tutorial. I don't know if I'll put that in the video or not, but I said it in like previous videos. There's a sign in Hobby Lobby that says, if you need, like, you know, a special quantity of yarn, like if you need more than they have in the store, they can order it for you. I did take a picture of that sign in my Hobby Lobby one day. I was like, oh yeah, I meant to take a picture of that and put it in a video, like, you know, months ago. And so I do have a picture. I'll put that picture here. But I guess if you go in there and you want a bunch of Paint Party, like I wanted to get for that throw blanket, you can actually find somebody. See, that's what would prevent me from doing, because I'd have to actually go over there and talk to somebody, and they'd say, oh God, in my head, they would be thinking, you mean he's going to actually order a whole bunch of extra yarn? He doesn't have enough yarn at home, all the clearance skeins that he gets. I'd be like the talk of the people in Hobby Lobby. They'd be like, You know that guy that comes in here all the time and gets all the clearance skins or whatever? He actually came over to me and asked me to order more yarn for him, and it wasn't even like, you know, the clearance prices. He was, you know, going to order for the 30% off week, whatever. But they have that sign there, and it says that you can order yarn, but you have to go over to somebody and say, I'm sure, like, you go over to whoever, you know, buy the fabric, or, you know, find one of the employees and say, you know, I want, like, you know, 20 skeins of the paint party, or like whatever, and then I guess they could special order it for you. And I'm assuming that you wouldn't have to pay shipping or whatever, but of course, I'm sure if you buy enough of it on their website, you probably don't have to pay shipping for that either. But still, but I guess you can order it in the store. But back then when I was doing my throw blanket, I just kind of settled on a bunch of different variegated colorways, because I was so excited. I didn't want to have to wait for them to, you know, get a shipment in of like the paint party or whatever just for me. I wanted to, like, you know, start working on my throw blanket, and so I did finish that. But it's like a bunch of different variegated colorways. But I think what I was saying before I went off on that tangent or whatever was that when I finally, you know, nailed the stitch and actually laid right and everything, I was just like acting like a ridiculous. I was freaking out in my home movies, you know, because I was like so excited about it. And if I think about it, I'll put clips in my my EG stitch tutorial. I'll probably, you know, stick it at the end or whatever after I show the tutorial and the swatches and stuff, which I did finish. I did finish all the swatches, but whatever. And so that's in that video too. I'm assuming at this point, but I haven't edited it all together yet. But hopefully it turned out right. But hopefully you'll enjoy it. And hopefully you enjoyed looking at all this ridiculous haul. Another ridiculous haul of 55 skeins. I know a lot of my videos lately are just like nothing but yarn hauls and stuff, but I'm just so like, as I'm filming this, I'm so focused on Christmas and all that kind of stuff, and so I don't have a lot of makes lately. I don't even have any like fandom stuff to show in this video, because usually I go off on tangents and talk about that kind of stuff. But the only fandom thing I got, you know, this day, or it was the day before, was that Friends poster. But I already talked about it in the video about the stuff from Goodwill, or that haul from Goodwill. But I don't even have any like fandoms. It's just like nothing but yarn. But whatever. I'll get back to, once I get through Christmas and stuff. I am making some stuff for Christmas, and I'll show those makes once it's all done and everything. Of course, by the time I talk about it in the video, it's going to be like in the middle of February or whatever. I don't know. But I'll eventually show all that stuff too. But anyway, I guess that's all for this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. I swear it's not going to be a big yarn haul. Or at this point, I don't really know yet. So I may have to take that back. No, I seriously doubt I'm going to come across another 55 skeins, because, you know, I'm going to be looking around at other stuff before the next shipment day or whatever. So I may come across some other random things, but whatever. But I'm assuming I think this might be a fluke, because I ended up getting all this, but with all the people in Hobby Lobby, I may end up missing out on most of the yarn for the next, you know, for foreseeable future or whatever. But so anyway, I'm sure my next video is not going to be a giant haul. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.